Let's bring in Dave Mason from Betonline.ag, one of the good friends of the program that we have, talking a little bit of NFL football. An interesting weekend this past week, but Dave is always up late and working hard because guess what, people? No, he's not just betting on football and setting lines on football. College basketball opens tomorrow. The presidential election hasn't been decided yet. Dave Mason, the hardest working man in the industry. Welcome in.
That's right.
Thanks, man. Thanks. And even if there was a hot mic, we got three great gentlemen on this call. We wouldn't be saying anything inappropriate. No problem.
That's right.
Keep it above board. That's what we're going to do. Right. Let's talk a little bit of NFL action here, Dave, from this past weekend. And we always like to start from a different perspective because we can say, hey, we do. I mean, Kyle went head-to-head with me Monday night, beat me. Went head-to-head on Sunday, beat me again. But the one thing we always like to look at is not if me and Kyle are beating each other. How did the books go over here? Because there were some big-time games, which we like to coin here on the show, Dave. Like everybody and they mama bet the Miami Dolphins, and that didn't work out so well.
Right. No, we had a really good weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday was really good, probably our best college football Saturday of the year, and Sunday was really, really strong as well. Broncos was massive, as you said, and the Texans outright over the Pats. Oh, yeah. That was huge. Raiders playing the Chiefs close was great. It would have been even better if they won outright because that would have killed a lot more teasers, but no complaints there. It was a really good weekend. Biggest winner for the players, Steelers, Browns a little bit, but no complaints from the book side this past weekend.
I don't want to think about any more Cleveland Browns, Philadelphia Eagles games. Oh, God, they drive me absolutely insane. Oh, good Lord. But speaking of the Steelers, we got a big game Thursday night, or it was shaping up to be a big game this Thanksgiving. Now we've got all these COVID issues going on. What are your thoughts? How you guys handling this? Do you expect big line movements here because of all this COVID things, no practice, et cetera? What are you guys looking at for that Thanksgiving night game, Pittsburgh and Baltimore?
Yeah, I mean, it's gone 3 up to 4.5 and now down to 4. So there's definitely some movement anytime you move off of 3. That's pretty significant. The bettors are on the Steelers. Why not at this point? Only undefeated team. They're looking great. Ravens are struggling. Got the COVID issues, etc. Lamar Jackson is not the 2019 version of Lamar Jackson. He's not even in the running for NFL MVP again. So meanwhile, that Steelers defense is thumping people. So yeah, we're going to be Ravens fans Thursday night, and big time. I mean, that game's without a doubt. You look at the other 2 games. Oh, good Lord, Texans at Detroit, and the football team at Cowboys. Although that they're playing for playing for first place in the NFC East, so maybe that game is pretty good, right? Yeah. But no, without a doubt, that night is going to take probably as much action as the other 2 combined.
Yeah. They're aiming for the top of the hill, Dave. As we know, the Philadelphia Eagles still sit atop that mountain with a shot to extend their lead versus Seattle Monday Night Football. But also on Thanksgiving, Dave, as we take a look, it's almost like tradition. And it's kind of funny because it's early in the day. The family might just be starting over. Maybe you're just like throwing the turkey in the oven. You always get a really horrendous Detroit football team. It seems like for the last 20 years that starts off the day, and we're okay with it. And then I joked earlier on the show last night with Kyle on our Monday Night Football show, Dave, that it's a natural ritual. Like you watch the Detroit game, you're just trying to feel it out. People are coming over. But Sunday, everybody outside of the state of Texas just roots for Dallas to lose or at least get injured so you can, have a little bit of interest. But the night game certainly is something that we're looking forward to. Over the years, Dave, that you've been in the business, obviously now with the advent of the night game, which is relatively new over the last, I'd say maybe 10, 15 years total, is the Dallas game usually the most bet game of the day, or does it really matter year to year on if there's a better matchup that you see more action on?
It's usually matchup driven, It's usually matchup driven. All 3 games will get great action. It's just one of the really good days of the year for football, man. It's a lot of players start kind of disappearing starting late October, all those kickoff guys that come back. In late October, a lot of guys start disappearing, and early November, mid-November, it's kind of the numbers aren't as good as they were a month earlier. But Thanksgiving Day, a ton of players come back. It's a really good reactivation weekend. It's one of those weekends that we have on the calendar every year for reactivation campaigns and getting guys back on the site. So, it depends on the matchup. you just looking at this weekend's matchups. I mean, the night game already has almost as much action on it as the other two combined, and that's impressive in itself. But just making it that much more impressive is the late game, because a lot of players just if they have $100 in their account, they're going to put it on the early game, and then if they win, they'll start. It's like so it's without a doubt it's matchup driven this weekend, 100%.
Yep. And talk about, you open up the season, everybody's ready for opening day, go through a bankroll. It takes a while, Dave, to start signing up for new credit cards and going through the couches to save up that money for Thanksgiving Day. So we'll see how that turns out. I'm looking forward to it. I hope that the game does go off, because usually it's not very many better games in the NFL, at least rivalry-wise, than the Ravens and the Steelers. But betonline.ag, one of the best things about them, and Dave does this wonderfully, is all the prop bet options that they have, whether it's sports or non-sports. Mm-hmm. But the ones that are now starting to really ramp up, which this is a rarity, having one team going all the way to see if they can be undefeated, and then the opposite side of the spectrum, a team that might not even win a game. Talking about the Jets and the Steelers, are we getting any action on that? Or it's coming down the stretch, only a few weeks to go. Is it a legitimate shot that we could have, Dave, an 0-for on one side and an undefeated on the other?
Yeah, and that's we need that prop. It sounds like we'll definitely put that prop. That's a great prop that we don't have, and there you go. We'll get one up. No, absolutely. I mean, the Jets one is getting more action because we've had it up longer because they suck so bad. It's pretty much Well, early on the season, there's always will a team go 0-16, and that just morphs into will a specific team go 0-16, whichever is the last team standing, I guess, if you want to call it that, last team buried in a ditch. So yeah, we have a ton of action on that, and we always need to know. We're always rooting for a damn win sometime late in the season. Odds are currently -250 on the no, plus 170 on the yes. And they got a tough schedule too, man. Dolphins, Raiders, at Seattle, at Rams, Cleveland. Yes. At New England, man. What are they going to win there? Cleveland, maybe. I don't know. Dolphins.
New England, maybe.
At New England, I mean.
And they're not even trying to win theoretically. Yeah. So it even makes it crazier.
So yes, at plus money. I can't blame anybody for ticking for Denton. That's
crazy.
I'm
crazy
sure
to think about.
It is. I mean, that's a tough. That's a pretty tough schedule there. But
the idea of getting -250 to not win is just insane. That's absolutely insane to me. It really is. It's crazy to me. So getting off of obviously the dumpster fire that is the Jets, we have a massive game this week. The Chiefs and the Bucks, Brady, Mahomes, and it's kind of crazy. I look at it and it's like, man, anytime I'm getting the Chiefs less than a touchdown. Now I sort of fell into this trap last week, which was excellent for BetOnline, I'm assuming, because the Raiders went ahead and covered that. But now you're looking at the Chiefs -3. I know it's Tampa Bay. They didn't look all that great on Monday night, and the Chiefs certainly don't have a defense. Is this going to be the most action on certainly on Sunday? I would assume it's the most action. What do you think about this Kansas City Tampa Bay game?
Yeah, I mean that's the highlight of Sunday's schedule without a doubt. I mean, I'm sure the Sunday night game will end up doing more action, just because it's a primetime game. But from all the other games, without a doubt, it already has the most action by far on Sunday. Like I said, that the night game will probably catch it. No guarantees though, but it will probably catch it. Everybody's on the Chiefs. 87% of the early actions on the Chiefs. Yes, so a little more lopsided than I thought. But then a lot of that's based on how the Bucs did. Just a lot of bettors are just have that short term memory, and you've seen that a lot with the Buccaneers this year, man. That they look like Super Bowl champs one minute, and then the next weekend they come back down to earth, and so we've seen a lot of that. Just bettors on the bandwagon, off the bandwagon, on the bandwagon, off the bandwagon. So right. We're going to need them to keep losing, though, because our Super Bowl figure on them is still astronomical.
Now, talking about Super Bowl figures, what a great segue, Dave, as we get into this next game I want to talk about on Monday Night Football between a team that's going to be able to host a home game in the playoffs. You never know what can happen. The rest of the 7 teams ahead or 6 teams ahead of the Eagles could get COVID issues, could put them right into the Super Bowl. But I have to say this. Are bettors finally out on the Eagles? And is this one of those games where you look for, Dave, on a Monday night game, the avalanche of money coming on Seattle? Because I already see the Eagles beat writers laughing. Ha ha! Seattle only favored by 5 over the Eagles. I can see it now. That avalanche coming, Dave.
Oh, it's coming. The avalanche is coming. 86% of their early actions on the Seahawks -5. And, I think that Chiefs-Bucks action will even out a bit. We're definitely going to need the Bucks, but I think that it'll come way down from that 87%. But Monday night, it's not going to come down too much from that 86%. The Eagles are just, oh God. They're first place though, right? Chip in a chair, as we always say. Again, a dang playoffs. But yeah, man, we're gonna be huge Eagles fan. That makes it easy for me, man. Being from Philly, I get to root for them for the house and for my personal enjoyment, if you can call it enjoyment this year. But we'll see. Come on, Wentz, you're due, buddy.
Yeah, and then we finally get to blame Carson Wentz. Donnie refuses to blame Carson Wentz for all the troubles, and he's got Dan Orlovsky on his side. A team tied for the second worst record in the conference in first place in the division. Absolutely insane. Dave, I'd be remiss if I didn't just ask you to remind people all the great stuff that you have going over at Betonline. I love all the Betonline is my favorite book to play, and I'll just tell the viewers that right now. It's absolutely my favorite book. Let everyone know what you guys have going on over there and some of the specials you have going on.
Yes, sir. Well, as we always talk about, we have the earliest opening odds in the industry, and college basketball is here, so that's always ripe for those early sharps coming in and picking apart those early openers. So college basketball is here. We're going to have the earliest opening odds. We have 2 Thanksgiving contests this weekend too. Nice. Both of them worth $10,000. So that's $20,000 in cash prizes up for Thanksgiving, and of course all the promo codes. 100% first time bonus code for bonus for crypto 100, 50% welcome bonus, 25% reload, 35% reload for crypto, etc. All the terms and conditions are on betonline.ag/promotions.
There it is. Dave Mason from betonline.ag helping us out on a busy week for him this week. Thank you once again for coming on. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. And again, hopefully you guys aren't too terrible to us gamblers out here. Let us get a little piece on Thanksgiving so we can have some fun there, Dave.
Will do.